Okay, so today we just have a couple things that I want to cover, and we want to, open it up. So if you have any questions, you can ask questions. Right now, I don't have. I'm not sure if Tara or Tammy if they're able to join us at this moment. But if you have some type of, more program-related questions, I can collect those and send those to them to get the response. Oh, I see Tammy just joined. Um, so we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so a couple things that I wanted to cover today. One is I just want to show everyone the expand all button. We went over that, I believe, last time or the time before in the ISS. And then, but the main thing that we have that's new is the program completion piece. And so that is available for you. So also, I do have the phone lines open so that if you want to go ahead and call in, you can. But if you're not talking, we'll just, if you could just make sure that your phone line is muted so that we don't, we can minimize any background noise. Okay. So let me go ahead and do that. To minimize background noise. Okay. So the very first thing I want to cover is we have a set of instructions. These are all out on the Youth Apprenticeship Career Pathways page. So they've been updated. This is an updated version of the area that we have for the progress page. And the main thing that I want to show you on here, we have updated the set of instructions to show how to complete the progress page to include the fields that are as part of the ISS. And this is important because if you didn't get this message before, it's really important that you know this, that you have to have a copy of the ISS in Individualized Service Strategy, or we call it ISTEP in Illinois workNet. You have to have a copy of that in the customer's file. So one of the questions was, well, how do we get that out of workNet and into the file? And what we have added is this expand all and print button. And so what that does, I'm going to move my screen out here for you. You can go to one of your customers and you go to their progress page, and this is all in test. So instead of you do not have to go click, 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 click to all these to open these up. You do expand all and print. And then it will give you a printer-friendly version that has all of these areas open. Okay? And then you just need to make sure you have that in the customer's file. Now, the easiest way just to close all these up if you still want to do some work, but you don't want to have to go click, click, click to close them, just refresh the page. And it closes everything, except the default is to have the services section open. Okay, so that's a pretty simple piece of information, but it's an important piece. The next area that was added, yes, so I saw a question from Natasha, are we just printing the progress page? The answer is yes. Make sure you have the planned start and end dates and everything, and make sure you have the goals and barriers and that type of stuff updated with information, and then you print that and you keep that in the customer's file. The new area is the program completion status. So this is available for those customers that are an applicant, registrant, or an exiter. If you are looking at a person that is an inquirant, you don't have to, it's not going to be available because they were never really enrolled in the program to begin with, because they don't have a certified IWDS application. So it's only available for the applicant, inquirant, and exeter. You'll see this on their page. So for program completion status, and these are on the instructions as well. Let me move this away because I want to show you. Somewhere down here. Okay, so we have it spelled out that for successful program completion, they must have completed the program and have one or more of the following. Unsuccessful means they've completed the program and they don't have one or more of the following. And withdrew is they did not complete the program. So this is built in to the progress page. And then you'll see that if you don't have any, if you choose successful completion and you don't have anything, you're going to get an error message that says you have to at least have one item. So the options that you can choose from for successful completion is they earned an industry recognized or post-secondary credential, they gained permanent employment, or they are continuing in a post-secondary program. So in this example, if you're choosing they earned an industry recognized or post-secondary credential, what that means, and note up here, you have one or more of the following that must be documented for successful completion. So when I say earned industry recognized or post-secondary credential, and I say it must be documented, you have to have that documented in IWDS. So you need to show that they have earned that credential in IWDS. Same with their permanent employment. You need to make sure you have that document that they've gained permanent employment or the continuing in post-secondary program. If you have unsuccessful completion and you have anything checked, it's not going to let you say they were unsuccessful, because if they have completed the program and they have meet one of these three criteria, that means that they have successfully completed. So if you don't have any of those items checked, it'll let you go ahead and check unsuccessful completion. And if you check withdrew, then that just means that they did not complete the program. Now, all of this does impact the, where do we have it? The dashboard. Okay, I'm on test. And so one of the areas that we added down here is the program completion status. So again, all the people that are in here are either applicants, registrant, or exeters. And so you'll see the listing of people who have not been marked as completing the program, or those who have successfully completed the program. So this is your overall total, people who have successfully completed the program. I guess I should have made this person. Change them out of here. Okay. So, let's go back here real quick. And then, so they'll have your total here. There we go. You have your total. This top line is your overall unduplicated total. And if you notice, these are just like indented. So this will be your, if you have a person that says that they've earned a recognized industry credential and they're in permanent employment, these three numbers right here don't necessarily add up to this number, because you can have a customer that has one or more of the following. So just know that this number right here is your total number of people who have successfully completed the program. This is the total number of people who have not been marked as completing the program. This is the total number of people who have unsuccessfully, and these are the total number that withdrew from the program. So it's pretty straightforward. Each of these, they have a little information bubble that marks, that identifies who those people include. Okay, so a couple questions. Let's see, Stephanie, something off topic. But what if someone's end date changed or they changed work site? How do you update that information? I've tried to change ending dates and location, but there's not a place to change or update. So, okay, what would you mark if they received a credential and did not gain? I would just mark that they received a credential, because those two are separate. I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, so you are saying that, okay, I'm in worksite placement, and I have, what you're going to say, I'm going to pick somebody here, and we're going to look at Emilio, and you were saying, okay, I have someone's date and how do you update the information? So if they are ending, then you would say that, and so is this for permanent, is this like a permanent placement, or is this, it should be the same for either one, but I didn't know if this was like a permanent placement type thing or an internship or work experience. So let's just go back just to make sure we're looking at the same info here. Okay, so a full-time position, we're going to look at Benjamin. And so, okay, so they started, they don't have an end date. I would just put successful completion if everything was okay. And then, you can put the end date and then save, and then that should just save it. Yeah, okay, yep. And then let's say that Benjamin, ended his work site, but then you wanted to add it. Let me go back to work site, work experience. And then you wanted to add him back in. I'm crossing over some things here, so I'm not sure if he'll show up. Benjamin. Oh, here. I can't remember if I'm in test, so let me just go ahead and can't remember like which ones I have since I'm crossing over some programs and groups. I can't remember which one Benjamin is really in. Just take him out of Benjamin. Can't remember. I'm sorry. It's easier to do whenever you have like a real person. But let's just say that maybe I took out Mick out of apprenticeship, I have another one, and then I just added them into, a work site. So if you're changing work sites, it's really, you just change, like for work site A, you change the person to completed, and then you just add them to a new work site. So it's not like you're switching an existing record, you're saving the information for that one record, and then you're adding them to another site. Okay, any other questions? Looks like we had a lot of people join us a little bit later, so I'm going to go ahead and move this information out of the way. And so for those that joined us a little bit later, I'm going to move this out of the way. I don't have a whole lot of information to cover today, but one of the really important pieces that if you joined us a little bit later, the first thing that I covered was that for the ISS, or we call it the ISTEP, but the Individualized Service Strategy, you need to have that in the customer's file, and that's done on the progress page, and you click on, make sure it's filled out, of course, and then you click on Expand All and Print, and make sure you have that in the customer's file, because they will look for that type of thing during a monitoring visit. So make sure you have that. And then for those of you that join us a little bit later as well, program completion has been added to the progress page, and it's really simple. It's successful, unsuccessful, or they withdrew. And if they have successfully completed the program, it means that they have either earned an industry-recognized credential or gained permanent employment, or they're continuing in a post-secondary program. They have to have at least one of those. They can have more, but they need to have at least one of those to be considered successfully completed, and that information populates the dashboard for the Youth Apprenticeship and Career Pathways program. All right. Any other questions? Or Tammy, did you have any comments?
No, I think you covered that pretty well. If you have any questions on the completion part of it, obviously reach out to us and let us know. But that was the next component that we had to add to it, so we can start, completing these people. And then just keep in mind, we are doing, Tara and I have been moving the modifications this week, so you should be getting those next week. So you need to get those signed and back to us, as soon as you possibly can. And then keep in mind with the completion status, there's going to be, some follow-up once they're 90 days of no service in IWDS as the indicator in the IWDS system. So just remember that follow-up as a required part of that. So if you're exiting people, at any time, the follow-up obviously starts at the point of when they're exiting the program. Natasha, anything else?
This is Courtney Gehrig from Methodist College. Could I ask a quick question?
Sure.
I noticed in going through the barriers for my clients that the barriers that I had originally chosen are now not there anymore. So I did put them back in, but I don't know why they would have been gone from my original time that I put them in. For example, I have a client who has barriers to access child care. She has financial issues and family-related issues, and they were checked at one time, and now they're not there anymore. They're not checked.
Yeah, I don't know. You can just send me their IDs or their names, and I can have Cody look at it.
I did update them again, but it just seems a little strange that it's not saving.
Well, the barriers, are you talking about on the progress page?
Yes, in the progress, I have the barriers, and at one point everything was all clicked and it was there, and now it's gone.
Is it consistently for everybody or just like a couple people?
Let me check another person, and I can talk offline if you'd like, but I'm just surprised that I know that this client is one of the main people that had these barriers, and when I just went to verify all of the information again, I noticed it was gone, and actually for another student it's not there either, so it looks like it's kind of...
Yeah, I can ask Cody if there's anything that was updated, but I mean, it's always helpful. Well, it's not good, but it's kind of good whenever, it happens to like a variety, like a group of people. But if when it's a onesie, twosie thing, it's hard to figure out sometimes. So yeah, it's just helpful to know like how many and who they are so that Cody can look at it.
Okay, I can send that to you in a separate email.
Okay.
So that we're not taking up too much time. But I did recheck them again, and I will actually go ahead and print everything for our files as you request.
Okay. Great.
Okay,
thank
you.
Okay. Any other questions? Well, all right. Well, with that, everybody have a great rest of your day. And let us know if you have any additional questions. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.